Hi, Sonny here, and this is part 2 of Your Grace is Enough. And I'm going to cover verse 1 and verse 2, just the verses alone, here in this video. Check out my part 1, which I covered intro of this song. So, let's get to it. For the verses, there are 4 chords. There's a G chord, B over G, which is the same, which is a G chord. This is a different bass line. And then there's a C2 chord, there's an E minor 7th, and there's a D chord. Okay, so the first line, great is your faithfulness of God. Oh, no, great is your faithfulness, oh God. So you start from the G chord. What I do is I play the G like that. I assume that you know how to play those open chords. The only thing I want to tell you is that the way that Chris Tomlin plays his songs, that you always have the ring finger and pinky on the 3rd fret of the B and E string. So his finger is always on the B and E string, and then you put the finger on here. That's a G chord, first chord. Second chord is B over G. Basically, it's the bass note is on the 2nd fret of the A string. Again, you don't move the ring and the pinky finger stay on the 3rd fret. And the 3rd chord is the C2 chord. You put your fingers like that. You put your middle finger on the C note on the 3rd fret of your A string, and then you put your index finger on the D string 2nd fret. Again, the pinky and ring finger stays on the 3rd. So that's C chord. So basically, you want to do great is your faithfulness, oh God. So it's got a G and B over G and then C. So you can hear those bass notes. Okay, and the second line is E minor 7th, D and C. E minor 7th, you keep your ring and pinky on the 3rd fret. You put your index finger on the 2nd fret of the A string, middle finger on the 2nd fret of the D string, and then you play all the string together. You rest so D chord. Assume you know open D chord. With the sinner's heart, you do the C2 again. Okay. Now, between that, there's some fills you play. And the first one, he goes, after great is your faithfulness, oh God. He just plays this. That's all he does. What he does here is they put his ring finger on the on the D note of your B string, and then he picks the open G note. It picks the D note again, the 3rd fret of your B string, and it picks the open G string again. So it goes like this. You hold down the 3rd fret of your B string and let it rain out. Just those 2 notes. Okay? Second one, he goes like this. Okay? He does it several times. He put his index finger on the C. That's how I play it. On the C note on the 1st fret of the B string, and then you pick the open E, the high E string, and then you pick the 2nd fret of the high E string, and then again the 3rd fret of the high E string. So you go the C, the 1st fret of the B. Okay, that's just a G chord. I use my index finger on a G note on the 3rd fret of on the E string. Okay, you do the same thing in verse 2. It's a little different though. The second time he does the fill in verse 2, he does an octave. So instead of doing this number here, he does this. Again. That's called octave lick. Basically, you play in two of the same notes, one lower, one higher. So you get that sound. Okay, so I will start on the 10th fret with my index finger on the 10th fret of your A string. That's a G note. And then I place my ring finger on the G note as well. This is a higher G note on a G string, the 12th fret. So 10th fret, A string, 12th fret, G string. Now the trick is that on my index finger here, I'm using it to kind of, the bottom of the flash of my index finger is muting the D string, so you won't hear the string between those two notes. So you can only hear this note and you hear this note, but you're not hearing the string in the middle. Okay, so that's octave. You don't move. That's how you play using those same two notes. Just move up and down. So start from the 10th fret, and then 9th fret, and the ring fingers on the 11th fret of the G string. Next you go 7th fret. You slide up to 9th fret, and then you play the 5th fret octave. Again, 10th fret octave, 9th fret octave, 7 slide up to 7, slide up to 9th. Okay. Another variation, he just plays like this. I'm sorry, it starts from 7. That's the second variation. He goes start from the 7th fret octave, 9, slide up to 10, and then 5th fret octave. Okay. Last variation, he just picks the note, and that's how I play it. It's like a little lick. You start from the open B string, and then pick the 2nd fret of your G string, open G string, 2nd fret of your D string, and then and then after that you go to the pre-chorus, which I will cover in the next video. Okay. Open B string, 2nd fret of the G string, open G string, 2nd fret of the D string, open D string. Okay. That's the pre-chorus. We'll cover that in the next video. But that's all the verse 1 and verse 2.